The Dream of Enlightenment and the Wonder of It All, Part 1. What are poems but collections of words? What are words but snapshots of memory? What is memory outside of the word? Is there anything outside of words, or is outside a word? Words are words are words are words. Words seem to paint a picture of a world with time and space and light and shadow and colors. Saying the word word makes it seem like there are things called words. And yet this aliveness, this thing we call life, cannot be captured with words like aliveness or life. It really isn't a thing you can throw a lasso around and take home. Yet words flow, tears flow, love flows. Life pours through me as I am life. Anything I say is just more candy sprinkles floating on a sea of ideas. What is life? What is beauty? What is love? Perhaps life doesn't have to be understood. Certainly the beauty of love and beauty is that they cannot be captured. Things like truth are just more ideas. No one really knows anything. Oh, you can learn how to fix a faucet, but nothing can stop the leak in your heart. This achy, breaky heart is everyone's heart. This love is everyone's love. This beauty is everyone. That there is no one is just another idea. I love songs that say nothing and leave nothing left to be said. We are a closed loop of words. We are cloud castles and our world is clouds. We can never get a glimpse of sky. Yet sky, somehow like love, seems to slide through the clouds, not seen nor unseen, but felt always. Sky dances in sky, through sky, as sky. What does that say about sky? What does that say about love? What does anything say except to tattoo the wind with meaningless sounds? What is wind? We say we know what wind is. You can feel it on your skin, see it dance in the long, tall trees, watch whirls of leaves swirl and dance across the frozen ground. But what is wind? All you can say is just more words to try to capture the wind. This swirling thought dream that paints us and our world has no edges, no beginning nor end, and no place to arrive, a liquid cat's cradle of words pouring through itself. No one knows more about wind than you. No one knows more about love than you. No one feels wind more than you. No one feels love more than you. There is no knowing what love is, no knowing what life is, no one separate from life to capture and hold life or love. There is no wholeness or oneness or unicity or diversity. It's all unicity, it's all diversity, and not. There are no its outside of thought. There is no outside or in. There is no knowing what is or is not a what. Words seem to capture a piece of sky, but there are no pieces of sky. It's all sky. There is no sky. And the morning bloomed inside of her, and somehow love recognized her face without knowing what love was, and no longer cared. And she seemed to live and love much like before, knowing there is no before nor after, drifting in and as this sublime unknowing, singing songs to the sparrows as they sang to each other in the tangling roses. I am a reflection in a movie running backwards and forwards at the same time, constantly crashing into and through itself, neither moving nor still. Meaningless words slide through the alphabet and disappear. I am a liquid portrait of echoes. Exploding and imploding rainbows flow through me as me, slide through empty reflections, fall gently on the beach, run laughing into the waters, skim the surface of unknowing, dive deeply into endless sky, never finding or losing anything or nothing, neither lost nor found nor in between. We are love's music listening to herself. I am an imaginary point of view, a rip in the sunset, weeping. And the world bloomed into infinite petals of loveliness. Love kissed me into her mouth and breathed me into the universe. I am unabashedly in love with you, nakedly in love with loving. When all ideas of this and that, real and unreal, perfection and imperfection are smashed along with your heart, you watch, fascinated, as your blood flows into the sea and your bones are licked clean by the shorebirds and the waves. There arises a serene beauty of seamless ocean that was always there, but never noticed. Nothing truly can be understood, as there are no actual things under the flowing description or thought stream that informs our unique universe. Other dream characters seem to have their own worlds, yet because the words that paint our worlds are the same, somehow we can share. In this cat's cradle of stories there appears a heart, pulsating, bleeding through our fingers, and the yarn spinning this dream of love. And some may try to fit themselves into dream worlds they have heard of, like enlightenment, like perfection, and put others on these pedestals. Surely if someone else has become perfect, maybe I can. And when the pedestals crumble, as they all will, even God must come tumbling down, and we can meet on this dance floor where we never left, and revel and rejoice in our basic humanness. How wonderful we can feel so deeply, despair and grieve, weep so copiously, laugh so joyously, love so completely. Last breath of moon, the sound of no tomorrow, and the falling leaves. Handfuls of morning course through your mind stream, painting the path of yesterday upon the wind and leaves, falling into pockets of starlight where galaxies wander, their empty arms swirling, longing to touch another's light. This devastating emptiness burns a shadow in the middle of the sun. It consumed your heart long ago, before you could remember to remember this love that no one could ever be, this love that we are. Gently, gently, sun, softly, softly, tears. Ancient song of whales, vertebrae in the sand, broken shells, wind. Where's the dream when you are not? The call of my childhood, morning doves, and the flowering of moon. We are this longing. There is no one having it, to take it personally or not, and it feels super complete in itself. The knowing that we are utterly alone gives life a bittersweet beauty. This is the broken-hearted beauty that we all share. Knowing we all share this is love. And the passion play continues. People are born and fall in love, fall out of love. Some are wounded in love, some are wounded in war. Some recover, some don't. Some get sick, some recover, some don't. We say our friends and lovers get sick and die. We are all dying, and this is the dance of life, of love. This is the only dance in town. And there are no dancers, and I am a mad dancer, a mad lover, wounded in love, wounded in war, seeing everyone as purely innocent. We are inseparable in our broken-hearted beauty. And simultaneously, there's a deep peace subsuming the dance, an unassailable silence pervading the song, a hush of unknowing among all this assumed knowing. Lovers may be fighting, and yet the sun flows on the flowered carpet, doves alight on the feeders, and fly away when the gray cat visits. This three-dimensional flowing light show of seamless ease is always obvious, this unfathomable aliveness that seems to appear like anything at all. No source, no maker of this amazing dream of you and me and we, and there is love. Yes, love, that seems like a paltry word to capture this overwhelming feeling of wholeness, of unicity, of, well, love. And I seem to fall in love with everyone I meet. Everyone I see is unutterably beautiful and pure and dying like me. If the sky falls, we will either figure it out or we won't. There is always love, and death is certain. Many non-dual speakers go on and on about how there is no self. Who cares? There is no love either, nor mountains or trees or vast, infinite sky. You can't even say this is it, as there is no this, nor that, nor both, nor neither, and there are no its, no things or non-things. So what about this thing called enlightenment? Remember, there are no things, no selves, and therefore no one to become enlightened. No separate moments, no time or eternity, or never. So no future when this imaginary persona will get, or not get, enlightened. So many hear that there are people who seem to be non-selves. Wow, that sounds good. To not be this puny little fellow with these troublesome thoughts and emotions. Maybe I can become a non-self, or even, as some teachers suggest, an enlightened self. How can a non-self walk along the trails of a non-existent mountain, or hold the hand of a loved one as they die, weep as if their heart will break, and recognize this broken-hearted beauty in everyone they see? How can a non-self see the wonder of rainbows as they dissolve into sky? How could a non-self see this unicity? How could a non-self love? All that seems to be going on is a mentally fabricated dream, just like the dream you had last night. Where did all those characters go? Where did last night go? Where is today or tomorrow? No one knows what's going on. No one knows more about this than you do. Some seem to rest in a most delicious unknowing, some not. But there is no right or wrong way to feel or live or love or die. And we all do. Live and love and lose love and die. And while love is just the best part of the dream, it soothes the great aloneness we all share. And I love you, and I love you for that. We are not love. There is no one to be loved, and no love to be. We are sourceless echoes in a canyon of reflections. Words flow and paint this river of love that has overflowed its banks. All is consumed in this flood. All measurement, all distinction, all ideas of this and that, and you and me, and love and beauty, all lines that defined perfection and imperfection are erased. All lines between an imaginary past and future and this thing called now dissolve. The boundaries between joy and sorrow melt in the liquidity of love. Hope and fear, simply memories of a desert dream where you wandered as thirst itself, looking for the source of the waters you were but could never drink. Love swallows the ocean as she swallows herself. We are mental fabrications, less substantial than thought. We are imaginary selves, personas, a flow of words, memory, preferences, belief that no one has. This shift does not happen to the imaginary character. It is a profound shift that occurs in the brain. Love is also made up, as are all things. This worded world has this virtual reality. The dream of separation is the only place where we exist, as concepts in a conceptual world. This is the only place where love and beauty live. This searing, delicate intimacy of life, seeing, touching, tasting itself through you. You are love's mirror, utterly transparent. You do not exist without imaginary separation. You cannot see yourself, as reflections are simply reflections. There is no one looking, no one to see. What is in between light? And what of love? Surely that must be real. What of yellow butterflies and golden sunsets? What is golden? What is the meaning of beauty? What is the meaning of meaning? Tales of sorrow and joy are empty, as well as the storyteller. Love is this dream of wonder, slipping through a dream of space and time. Time is the dream of butterflies soaring through the mind stream, delicate petaled wings of thought. Space a feathered wind that slips through its own breath. This dream that we are has no edges or compartments. I seem to be here and you there. Without the story of space and time, we are not. How would we twirl across this mirage if we could not touch? How can we touch if our lines are imaginary? If our lines are made up, what does that say about us? The dream unravels and the tattered threads cannot be caught. We are the infinite colors of this tapestry, the words in this fairy tale of wonder. Sweet, sublime unknowing never slept. It cannot awaken. There is no sleeper nor dreamer. Eternity is empty. Emptiness is empty. But love, love is the dream that seems to pull us together in this pirouette of thought. And in loving you, I recognize this love light that I am, that you are, that this is. Is love the dream? Yes. Is it real? What is real but a thought? What is thought but a thought? And I was lost in the echoes of infinity, dissolved into nothingness, beyond confusion or understanding. As tears began to flow, I found my eyes and my tender softness. Nothing wears this nakedness, this wetness, this life. Halfway to nowhere is not even nowhere. Light bathes in light, swirls through empty shadows, erases the notion of dark and light, and anyone dancing in this dreamland ballet that seems to dance itself. Blood slides off the mirror. Nothing is left behind, not your reflection or mine. The mirror cannot hold the absence of love. It exists only as reflections, like me, like you, like love. How can I hug the world when I am not separate from it? Self is the assumption of separation, that there are separate things and events, so it is natural for you to assume that if there is this, there is that. But there is no this, nor that, nor both, nor neither. There is no nothing, nor is there not nothing. Life is all of a piece of itself so. This cannot be seen by the imaginary self, but seems to be recognized by the storyteller, the brain that uses share-learned words to paint this dream of separation which we are, this thought stream that when stopped, stops creating this worded world, this magician's tale, this hologram. Without thought, there are no things, nor the absence of things. There is no one asking and no one to be asked. And yet, here we are, apparently texting on computer screens, oceans apart. What is imagination? It is whatever your brain thinks it is. It is obvious that all words are defined by other words. It seems like you are looking for the magic word. When I was growing up, the magic word was please, but I do not think you want that. You are the longing for an answer, for some solidity, for something to hold on to. You are the looking for knowing, for understanding, and yet there are no things to gather into a place of rest or understanding, and no one separate from the illusion of separate things and events to do so. You can feel that great maw of emptiness. It pulls you, calls you, and you cannot run away no matter how long you hang on to the river. There is nothing but water. I can feel you trying to run away from yourself, but you never can. You are an imaginary persona in a passion play. There is no escape, no door, no key, no magical place where you will arrive. There is no other or better or more or next, and you know this, that there has never been anything other than what seems to appear and simultaneously dissolve. Self-arising and self-erasing, life seems to happen all by itself. There is no one or thing making life happening. Is it happening or not? We can never know, as this is as real as it gets. There are no enlightened beings who have escaped the dream. There is simply no outside or inside or middle. There are no awakened ones who know all the answers, no holy ones who feel more love than you, No one knows how anyone else feels. I cannot even know what love feels like for my closest lover. You are utterly alone, an isolated galaxy spinning in an endless darkness. Yet you can see other galaxies, but you can never actually touch. And that is the great aloneness that we all share. This broken-hearted beauty is our humanness. We can be alone together. It will be over soon enough, and while you are here, there are sunrises and small birds and colors everywhere. This worded world, this magician's tale, known world of things and events and time and death, this is the only world we can ever know, and yet somehow there is love. Butterfly winds fall through the sky, the trees, the garden walls, swoon through all your ideas of wind and stillness and you. Gravity seems to erase itself as the sky swallows you. Love falls up falls down, and you are neither here nor there, as love gives you her sideways glance and pulls you from your placeless place into the dance that you never really left. It was merely the longing to escape that tied you to the ground. There were never any scaffolds holding up the sky, nothing to climb, nowhere to be. Look down at your feet. They have always known how to dance, and love has always known how to love. You feel your lips, your tongue, your heart mouth the words that dissolve into letters and spaces, meaningless lines and squiggles, seaweed strands on an empty beach, the song of this and that, left by the tides and collected into the folds of moon when she returns, gathering love songs into her wings of reflected light. In-breath, out-breath, just this breath. And as memory unwraps the present, revealing the nakedness of sight, and listening deeply to the moon's last sigh, all reason is stripped off the clothes of knowing. There is no paper underneath the photograph. We are the emerging lines and colors bursting into this three-dimensional symphony. Of what, no one can say. Is the river made of water? Or does it exist only in its movement? Is there movement when there is no before or after? There simply are no separate things, nor one big thing, nor separate events, nor one big endless event to change or remain the same. It's all in the words. There are no words. There is no stuff of which the universe is made other than thought. And thought is, well, thought. I love you. What is love? What are you? What am I? Nothing can be known. There are no things. Nor are there non-things. There is simply no thing called knowing, and no one to know or not. Nothing is required for this unknowing. No beliefs or thoughts need be unwrapped. They are the beautiful flowing fabric of you. Under your obvious beauty, there is not even nothing. What is beauty? What is nothing? What is a what? Songs slide through the mirror, paint trails across endless sky, pull your heart into impossible places, leave it hanging in between never and forever, dissolving into this very hush. No longer looking for the beginning or end of rainbows, you are the song that sings itself. You can hear the echoes of your heart bleeding, petals of sound falling into their own caress of utter softness between sound and silence, vibrating in the hollowing moon. Tears have no color other than all colors, bleeding into the dream of rainbows, blooming and fading, sliding through the colorland dreamscape of time and space. The lap of ancient tides is your blood rushing into the sea. The rise and fall of tides, of all the wetness that will never quench your thirst, nor leave you empty. There is no vessel that is not water. No thing can contain all this love. Love's hands are yours. Love's face is yours. Love's heart is yours, is mine, is us. Stars may seem fixed, but there is no holding on to starlight. Love is a foreign language that your heart sings to you. It cannot be understood. There is no need. Why stars? Why sky? Why clouds? Why love? Why? Why? Words have no meaning or non-meaning, yet they are all we have. We are this storyline, this thought dream, meandering through starlight. The stars form patterns of ancient wanderers and archers, bow and arrow poised only in our minds. We are star travelers dissolving into our own light. What can you really know? Or is all knowing conceptual? Simply a stream of words outlining what a thing seems to be and what it is not. Words are lassos thrown around this symphony of perception and this imaginary perceiver, never actually catching anything, yet seemingly creating it. Can you know if there is a knower, separate from a paper lantern, pages of knowledge that seem to hold light in and yet let it shine through? Who made these empty footsteps? Who cried these tears? Who moans the emptiness of time and weeps at the emptiness and fullness of love? How can the river taste its wetness, or tears taste their salty sweetness without the interface of your tongue? What is the taste of taste? You are an imaginary lens between the brain and the universe, a prism creating light and shadow and colors. Can you explain love? What are we but this flowing description that has no end or beginning nor pause or space between never and forever? I see no space between me and love, for I have no clue what I am or what love is. We all know this nakedness, either feared or longed for. Hanging on the edge of no tomorrow, there can be an unanswered question, a hope for love, and a fear of losing ourselves in love. All questions slide out the door that has never been closed in your heart. Love is like knives, soft, unyielding, confirming your nakedness, your joy, your sorrow, our nakedness, our joy, our sorrow, our aliveness, our brief life, an open door where love enters and flies out with you in her fiery talons. And you feel like you have reached the end of your story, all that seeking, peering into books, into words, under the letters, in between the pages, has never led you to the answer, and you are beginning to doubt that there is an answer. You have reached the edge of the known world. There are no more signs. You cannot see anywhere to go. There is no next. You turn around, and there is no back. And you may begin to notice that all words are defined by other words, and all concepts, all ideas, all belief is made of yet more ideas, and that this thinking of these ideas is simply more ideas, more concepts, and all are held together in a picture of what your world is like and what it is not. Layers of belief like a hornet's nest of paper, letters written by no one tied together with a string of thought that says, "This is my world." Here I am in this world of swirling beliefs, a galaxy of concepts that somehow seem to fit together in a costume that you wear. And you may begin to wonder if the idea that there is a someone inside this mental construction of belief that is crumbling under the weight of unknowing. There may seem to be a nakedness under the papier-mâché mask that no one wears, but that is simply more ideas filling in the blankness, trying to find a light in the dark when there is no light or dark. Time loses its meaning. Meaning loses its meaning. The passion play dances across the mind screen, and it is not real or unreal or surreal, or maybe it is all three. All designations are felt to be false, including false and true. It is truly a feeling of floating, skinless, in and as an impossible dream of heart-breakingly beauteous wonder. All the people I know, my lovers and passers-by, are seen to be exploding jewels of centerless light, galaxies spinning, dancing down the sidewalk, and that broken-hearted beauty in everyone's eyes is me, is not me. For I am just another exploding rainbow, colors painting the universe with these eyes, that no one lies behind. The kiss of everything and nothing collapses into itself, into this very momentary, obvious aliveness. And what it is I cannot say, for truly I have no clue as to what love is or I am. But I am no longer looking for clues. There is no answer. All questions fell apart when words lost their meaning. And we know that there is no controlling the rain or the sun, and it may feel like there is someone separate from life who can control it. But can you remember deciding you were going to feel like a controller or chooser of thought or feeling? When did you decide to have these sad or joyful feelings? When did you decide that this has to be a bouquet of endlessly blooming flowers? Or didn't you? Perhaps all of life happens all by itself. Seems like it simply looks and feels like anything at all, doesn't it? Including the feeling that it shouldn't look or feel like it does. Can you say, as life happens, this is the beginning of a thought or feeling, and now is when it ends? Are there separate thoughts or feelings? Perhaps it is because there is no one or thing separate from this flow we call life, this flow of thought and feeling that seems to happen, whatever we may call it, bad or good or in between, and the labeling of it also happens utterly naturally and spontaneously. The feeling of ease and the feeling of unease arise utterly, easefully. Just like you drink water and know it is wet, so is this knowing inseparable from the symphony of perception. What is this foreign tongue that I seem to speak? What is the meaning of these words that slide off my tongue? The taste of sound has no translation, nor does silence have a word to hold these empty stars. Stars seem to punctuate the dark, arrows drawing attention to the absence of light. What is endless darkness or the eternity of light without the kiss of starlight in your eyes? Doves alight on the feeders, through the window I can feel their softness and the warmth and roundness of their bodies. Or is it my breath, my heart beating in their chests? Looking for the end of ideas and hypotheses, for that final kiss, the cause of infinity, the marrow of love, all you can find is endless ideas. Yet the enchantment of ancient songs beckons. You hear your heart song echo in the mountain tops, hidden early morning mist, ricochet in deep, deep canyons, and the leaves trembling in autumn winds. You can feel it in the cool sand under your feet, and see it in the sunset, meandering streams with pools of rippling reflections of sky. You try to hold the flowing, and sky flows through you. There was never a line between you and sky. It is elusive but obvious, this knowing that there is no knowing, nor anyone who could know, this sublime, utter intimacy of life that you have always been. We appear and seem to meet in this kiss of nothing and everything, rush and suck of tides, waves pummeling toward the shore, horses in a wild gallop, stop suddenly in a meadow. There are flowers and long, long grasses, a meandering stream and endless sky. There are no outlines nor inlines, simply a vast, measureless expanse of what? There is no substance, not lack of substance. There is no lack at all. Sky has no stars in the day, washed by wings of all-consuming light. You can feel them under the blanket of night, where the world turns through distant lands, as we circle ourselves again and again. Hello, goodbye, hello. Winter trees, lace-wing sky, watching the long migration of summer into summer. You can feel the heat radiating in and out, rushing through your heart, pounding in your ears. Love rests and folds into herself, nestles into the long, cold night. What we call life feels real and unreal and surreal simultaneously, and there is no reality nor unreality. Floating as spontaneous bursts of music and light and color, flow through vast, edgeless spaciousness without space or music or color. There is no backdrop to be empty or full. These apparent things and events are not related nor unrelated, not separate nor joined, obviously thingless, yet memory seems to create things, crunching an apple, teeth puncturing the redness, wet and white inside. How magical is eating and swallowing and watching morning slide into the garden, elegant steam rise from my tea, doves float down to the feeder. And were they here yesterday? What is yesterday? What is tomorrow? What is time? I cannot find any things, nor a timeline. Like clouds, memory disappears and reappears and provides a story of a girl, a woman, a songstress, a what am I? I have no idea. Only that I am an idea, and ideas are ideas, and all this is ideas, stories projected into the inside of this skull that only I can see. I am part of the picture. No one else can see this movie, yet everyone I seem to know is in it. Is it a dream? Is it real? What is a dream? What is real? Simply whatever thought says it is. There is no trying to find the essence of life. There is no essence, nor is there not. There is a sublime ease of all of it, the symphony of dreams and the dream perceiver. This aliveness seems to be subsumed in a love that has no lines yet draws them all. Thought seems to create and link separate things and events together, painting a liquid picture of separate people who live and love and die, and it feels beautiful, simply beyond belief that anything seems to happen at all. Lustrous night, awash in the dream of light, moon is suspended in spidery threads, filaments of thought spin the dream. Powdery wings of the night moth brush your face. The hovering swallows the hush that never entered or left the dream of the summering moon. Stepping off the cliff into your own love and finding you're soaring, have always been soaring, effortlessly in love as love through love, this love that has no meaning nor non-meaning, supersaturating this dream of unparalleled wonder. It is not limited to a feeling or a person. It cannot be thought about, yet it soothes all thought. It cannot be spoken of, yet all words sing it. Love is the song that erases all lines between this and that, between you and me, yet imaginary lines are required to fall in love, so deeply that we disappear. Songs are colors sliding through a river of rainbows. What is color? What is a rainbow? What are those treetops dancing in the wind? What are words when word is a word? What is thought when thought is a thought? What thought could be true or false when true and false are thought? What is an atom? What is time? What is sunlight on the river dancing? What is beauty? What is this love? How can you see what you are? There is nothing inside. Cut your body and there is blood. You can never know what is going on as you are not separate from it. You might as well try to move the planets out of their orbit. And you give up laughing and weeping, realizing you never had any choice but try to capture the sun, and you feel sorry for that little girl who went to sleep crying, for no reason, for every reason, and one day woke up to a new dawn, to this brightness of not trying to hold love. And she sailed into the dream of love that she had never left. My first memory was the ocean calling my name. I could hear it always, but never actually find it. It was the wistful wind in the morning trees, first light in the garden, roses blooming, last leaves lingering. Tires on a distant road, love songs on the radio as the cars flew by, the caress of tears bathing my tenderness and cascading down mountains of sorrow and joy, the all-encompassing sigh and the wrap-around embrace of my own grief, of never finding anything I could count on, and the forever quest for love. The silence of forgotten dreams, the longing to remember and the longing to forget, the emptiness I could not find or fill, and the fullness of rainbows as they faded into sky, the promise of tomorrow and the knowing that it would never come. And one day I found my name, delicately written by the sea, as it percolated into the glistening sands. The sparkling was so beautiful, I forgot I never was. I cannot find a name for this feeling which is not separate from the rocks and trees and wind dancing, nor separate from mountains and sky and vast, endless oceans I cannot see. It is not separate from the caress of my eyes on this screen and the afternoon light swooning through the windy leaves, gracefully patterning the ground with ungraspable wondrousness, not separate from the bird song coming from the low, tangled roses, empty now of blossoms, or my fingers sliding across the piano keys typing this song. It is a flood of emotion more intimate than anything I thought I was, and more infinite than anything I thought I was not. Raw and wild, it broke my heart long ago and never left. I call it love and awe and joy and sorrow, but it is really not a thing at all. It has no edges nor center, and comes not from me or you, yet it seems to be enlivened by your presence. When I am with you, this already bursting heart explodes, dissolving into the sparkling. It feels like I am weeping always, whether there are tears or not, whether there is laughter or silence. I am this liquidity, dissolving into the sparkling. The very earth and sky crack open, the compass of thought spins. This is the end of direction. There is no place to go or land. You cannot find your feet. There are no reference points, no one left to be lost or found. Ribbons of infinity slash your heart as love escapes all ideas of freedom. You fall into a searing brilliance as space and time dissolve. Weeping softly, you fall into your own tears, into your own naturalness, into your own beauty, into your own love that was never yours. It is what you are. An imaginary center in a dream of edges, a galaxy of thought spiraling outward and inward, and it feels like light pirouetting with light, weightless, suspended in the top of a swing, without movement, as wind and light and love swoosh through you, and you are love swooshing. There is nothing to say. This cannot be shared. All you can do is try to describe the sensation of living between love and nothing at all. I love you seems to work just fine.